Welcome to the garden again. And you probably have wondered where I've been wandering off to. I've been hiding from the heat in my garden. It's been lovely here. I feel my heart goes out to anybody who's broiling in temperatures no one should live in. We have those sometimes routinely in the summer, but we're kind of ready for them. And I really feel for anybody caught up in that. It's a hideous, horrible thing. I used to think snow was like the worst. And I do kind of still think snow's like the worst, but the heat's really bad. But where have I been? Well, first of all, winners. The three people who won the colopyrite, the lovely blue pyrite, this stuff. In case you missed it, this is bigger than the pieces I sent because I'm cheap and I don't like paying a lot for mail, but it's called peacock stone. It kind of looks, sometimes it looks like the color of my hair. It's a lovely stone. It's a form of pyrite, fool's gold. And what happens is different minerals attached to the pyrite make different colors. So the three proud possessors now, as of today, when I finally got around to mailing it, is Faye, Patty, and Rosalia. So thank you, ladies, for doing it. I used my system, took your emails, listed them in a list in the order they came in. And then I went to my random number generators, which are my grandchildren, and said, give me 3 numbers. And then I average between them. That's how I get to the numbers. That's a pretty random way to get numbers. Where have I been? I've been learning a lesson I tell everybody they should pay attention to. One of the things I'm doing is Andrea and I are going to be doing some more shows on 3D to 5D, different ways to look at it, different authors we find that talk about it, different insights into getting there and how to know you're getting there and how to understand when you're moving forward, when you're moving backward. Because it's not like you get on an elevator and one day you're in 5D. But I've been having a lesson in how to deal with this. I have found, whoop whoop, for the people who are ordering eggs, I do believe I found a fabricator. He's producing final product on an initial egg so we can make sure that the quality is there. It took a while because what's most important about the egg, yeah, it's cute that it has to be an egg and it's cute that it's all that other stuff, but what's most important is the crystals that are in it. They are there to work with the different chakras it's talking about, that that each one of them is aimed towards, and also the elements, the earth, water, air, and fire. And the tree of life I'm still working on, which stones are going to be exactly in that tree. But anyway, I found a young man in Austin and I spent some time with him yesterday. And it's like the universe is pushing him forward. We we weren't sure we'd gotten the egg that's the original mold for the egg. Make a long story short, he went off and he went to a store. He thought, I think I know this store might have something like that. He went in and found it there, dirt cheap, because it's a secondhand store. My son was digging through the box of stuff from the prior fabricator, and yes, the very bottom of the box, he found the egg too. So all in one day, we got an affirmation, yeah, that sucker's supposed to still be there. He's got the shapes worked out. His wife's a jeweler. She's used to working with stones, so we're well on our way. He's in the process of trying different resins to see which one will work best. So egg people, I've told you, I'll give you your money back. If you ask me for a refund, I don't blame you. I'd be madder than hell at me over this, but I want you to have the product I want you to have. I want it to be the product we need to have for all of our sakes. And the whole thing with the egg's been a total thing of patience and learning and having to learn not to push things when it shouldn't be pushed. The other thing, the garden. Okay, we'd sent it off. We'd had prototypes. We're working with a real company. They know what they're doing. I didn't know Canadians had so many holidays in the summer. And we calculated, they said from the date of order to here would be shipping. Anyway, finally, we realized that they only make 12 scarves a day when they're doing that. That's how they priced it out. I don't know how they can only do 12 a day and charge me what they're charging me. But when we realized that's what they were doing, then we started the frantic thing of getting a hold of them Anyway, the scarves shipped on the 30th of June to the fitter. He's got all the stones together, all the instructions are together, all the tubes are together, everything's there. All he needs is to stick the scarf in. And they're being shipped from upstate New York to my fitter who's in Austin. And Lord willing, the creek don't rise. And I've learned that's not a good thing to say about any of these projects. Those will be going out to you. I'm extremely sorry. I had no idea it was going to take this long, but we now have more than we could ever possibly need. So the first 30 of you are going to be getting yours right away. And then we'll have plenty on back stock. And we did say 4 to 6 weeks. We are now in the 5th week. I had no idea we'd get this close to 6 weeks, really, truly. And it really worried me. And I couldn't meditate at night. I couldn't go to sleep. I was waking up in the morning, trying to get calm and gentle and see all this coming towards me. And every time I turned around, there seemed to be a roadblock. And meanwhile, I'm reading all this wonderful stuff about progressing from 3D to 4D to 5D, feeling like I'm back in 2D. I'm just incredibly frustrated. And yesterday I was talking to my artist, Alma. We're on the phone and she was trying to brainstorm with me. And I said, I'm going to take a step back. We're both going to take a step back. She said, fine. I said, we're doing exactly what all the people who tell you about dealing with a frustrating situation tell you not to do. I wake up in the morning, I worry about where they are. I go to bed at night worrying about the poor people who don't have the stuff I promised. I'm taking all that on myself. All I'm seeing is what isn't here instead of what is. And so we're going to play fantasy games. So yesterday morning, about 10 in the morning here in Dallas, I went out. It was a beautiful day because it was like in the 70s, which it never is this time of year in Dallas. I went out and I went for a walk and I had Alma in my ears on my headset talking to me on my phone. And we just dreamed that we were surrounded by scarves. We had scarves. We had so many scarves, we didn't know what to do with them. We were walking, they were flying off her ceiling fan. I ran up against a bush that's a park near me. I walked up right next to the bushes so they could rub against me. And I felt like those were the scarves coming to me. Everything was wonderful. And I came home and she had sent me a picture of something. So I opened up my email to look at the picture. And there was the notice from the Postal Service that my scarves are in the U.S. Postal Service system. Now, since Louis DeJoy did his number, that's not always an incredibly interesting, fun thing to think of, but it's so much better. And the people who I'm working with up in Montreal are really, really good. They went out, when I wrote them a letter and said how badly this was affecting me, they went and got all the scarves they'd done and packed them to send them. And there'll be a second round of scarves coming, but not that many. We're almost done. So that's where I've been, guys. I've been learning my own lessons. Not good. It's good. It's great. It's an F. Also, my allergies came back. It's been affirming to me that the stuff we do works. If we work it, if we don't, I totally got in my own way. And I'm sorry, apologize to those people because I got in your way. And for those of you who were very sweet would write me and say, it's okay, I'm okay. That really buoyed my spirits. But that's where I've been. And that's what I've been learning. And it's the really horrible thing about being a card reader is you can't read your own cards. But I did talk to medium Kim. And she did. I don't know if you've ever seen her work, but she does aura drawings. And she said, this was my aura. Upside down would probably be more appropriate. But this is my aura drawing she did. And she explained it all to me. And she talked to my husband, my dead husband, Bill, who's not dead. He's just on the other side, as they say. He's dead. He's not here. And, and that was a lovely thing to have done. I did psychic squares, which was interesting because I did it when I was in the middle of all this. Why isn't everything working the way it should? But the ladies were lovely and I had a good time and I really enjoyed escaping to that. So if you can't read your own cards and you've got a whole pile of work in front of you, how do you deal with that? How do you handle it? Where do you go? So what I did is I went to my favoriteest book, Angelspeake, and I said, okay, Angelspeake, I need to have a lesson to talk about today, something to talk to people about. And what I got is about hark. And it means it's how you love, we know we love you and we're proud of you. This is the angels speaking. And this is their hark. Hear us, ask us to come to you, release your worries and doubts, and keep doing that. Keep asking, acknowledging, asking, and releasing. And that's how it makes it easier for them to work with them. And that's exactly what Alma and I did yesterday. We said, okay, listen to us. This is what's going on. And then we just kind of made a game of both of us just seeing scarves falling out of everywhere. At about the same time, they were running around the plant, gathering up the scarves to get them to us. So that was kind of a lovely message to have gotten. And like I said, if you don't read anything else, read Angelspeake. When Andrea and I are meeting to discuss 3, 4, and 5D, I found 3 books that I have used. One I just found on this journey to working with the eggs and the scarves and the channel and all that. It was actually a woman she actually physically sent me the book from Amazon and said, read this. It's called The Alchemist. And I put it by my bed where all good books go to die. And I didn't read it. One day I rolled over really early on a Sunday morning and I didn't have a lot to do that day. And I went, okay. And I opened up my phone and there was The Alchemist on audio tape being read by Jeremy Irons. And I love his voice. So I started listening to it. And that woman was so spot on, and I was so stubborn in not reading that book. And it is absolutely marvelous book. And if you come and listen to Andre and I talk next week, we're going to be live on one of our channels talking about that, a book by Cash Peters and a book by Radley Valentine. One's a biography, and 2 are stories, and they're all about soul journeys and finding out how to make your soul complete and the steps you need to go through. And they're absolutely brilliant books, and here I am sitting reading all that, and I'm still not understanding. So I am going to pull a card for those who've tolerated sitting through this. Oh, I do have one more thing. Just before I turn the camera on to record this, my phone, that's the bewitched sound you hear, that dee-dee-dee, is a friend of mine, and she said, did you get my gift? They said they delivered it. And I didn't hear anybody by the door, but it had been delivered. And this is what she'd sent to me. And I thought it was so perfect for me on today. And there's my dragonfly, my soul critter. And it says, they whispered to her, you can't stand the storm. She whispered back, I am the storm. And that's kind of how I feel like I've been starting to get blown over by the storm. I forgot, I guess I got arrogant. I forgot about taking the steps I needed to do to keep myself on the straight and narrow. And it's a lesson I have learned. I will be carrying it with me through the rest of these upcoming projects. And I do have more projects coming up, but not today. Okay, I'm going to pull from, this is a wonderful deck. It's called The Gentle Wisdom of the Faeries. And a friend of mine is very affected by fairies, and she gave me that book, and she actually gave me that dragonfly mug. So I'm going to see. What card do we need to learn from today? I can't make this up. Patience. Patience, yes. When I get impatient, it doesn't make things happen faster. And the woman who wrote this book, she's in California, and it's just a lovely book, and her descriptions are absolutely marvelous. And patience is get comfortable and have patience. New growth and blossoms take time to develop into the ripe fruit. Relax, fully enjoy the times of growth and ripening, and then enjoy the fruits. So I thought that was kind of perfect for me. And then the other deck I decided to read today because it just felt right. I don't know if you've ever seen these. I've talked about them before. This Power of Surrender cards. I actually have this deck in my telephone. There's a way it's in there and I can shuffle it. And at the end of my readings that I do for people, a lot of times they'll get a surrender card. And it's just amazing how accurate and how well these sum up what's going on. So we're going to take a surrender card, and then I'm going to surrender because I'm losing my voice. I have to go to the post office and mail what I need to mail. I am available for readings. I am available still doing grids. I have 3 more to be mailed out, and then I have 4 people lined up for next week to do grid readings. But so I'm available for that, and I am so close to 2,000 subscribers. So close to 2,000 subscribers. And when I get to 2,000 subscribers, I'm going to do a very special drawing for a couple people. And it's not just a rock. It's maybe a whole lot of rocks, maybe in a grid. Okay. Okay, my surrender card, the surrender card I got today, and so you get it, surrender denial. Accept people and situations exactly as they are without denying the difficulties. Then you can see things clearly and make the best decisions. I think one of the better ones I made was to come on and talk to y'all today, and to talk about what's kind of going on. I know I've been close enough to enough readers all my life to know we're not perfect beings. And I was just beating myself up. I mean, had I been that's what Alma said to me. If you were your client, what would you say to you right now? And I'd say, let it go. And she said, well, that's what we need to do. And we did, and it worked. So one more time, guys, the story of letting it go. And I know yesterday when I woke up and things were not all lined up yet, I was just, when they say you're at your wit's end or on your last nerve, both those described where I was. But now I'm back in the garden. Also, when I got on the scale, I was 204 pounds, 9 ounces. I'm now at 202.9, and that's going through all the stress of what I'm working on. So I'm sticking on my diet, doing pretty good with that. I will be talking a little bit more about that. Remember, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a healthcare professional. I'm not even the geeky people that do nothing but keto. And they're not terribly geeky people. They're just, that's what they do. I'm trying to get a couple of them to come over and talk about the spiritual beginnings of, and how you kind of have to be, I'm not sure how it works. If you lose the weight and your mind comes along, or if your mind has to be there first. In my case, my mind had to be there first. But I don't think it matters which direction you do it in. Just understand you have to make the decisions you need to make to get to where you want to go. So with that, I send you love and prayers. I also did go around my house yesterday, stomping around doing the violet flame, because I'm sure in my negative mind, I had conjured up more than a little bit more negative energy. But if you don't know what the violet flame is, it's really quick, so you can cut it off now if you don't want to hear it. But you call upon the Archangel Zydeco, the Ascended Master Saint Germain, Victoria, and all the attendant angels that help them maintain the violet flame. Violet flame is the flame that blaze through us, through every stone, through every piece of wood, through every glass. Swoop through the entire environment that I am in. Take out all low, discordant, dysfunctional, negative energies from whatever dimension or from whatever time. Take those up to the divine center of heaven and put them in the divine white light where they can be purified and made whole. Then bring that energy back here and shower the positive energy upon us. Do this for all. And that's sort of the violet flame. That's out of the top of my head. If you want the violet flame, I have it for homes, stores, offices. I mean, I've got it written out for all those different ways. If you want that, you can email me and I will send it to you. I have it all printed out. And it's really good. I gave out 2 of those this week because there are other people who were dealing with kind of some negative stuff and wanted a, and it works. I'll tell you how I knew that one works. And then I promise I know I have the longest exits known to man on these shows. I used to work in a vintage store that had vintage clothing, but also vintage all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. And when I first got there, there was actually a vendor in there. They were gone shortly after I got there, not because of me, but because they left. They had children's tombstones. So they've been stolen from some kid's grave. And they were the old Victorian ones with lots of angels and stuff on it. There was some really negative stuff in that store. There were old humpback radios, and it wasn't negative. They just wanted to be a radio again, and they'd play music even though they weren't plugged in. So I used to periodically go around, and they used to say every day the violet flame to cleanse the place out, to get rid of any energy that the vendors innocently bring it in, because the vendors that go out and deal with all that old antique stuff, they don't feel the energy that's on it necessarily. So when they bring it in, they don't know I'm bringing in something that has, the worst was a couple that brought the masks in that had voodoo attached to them, and they flew off the wall and almost hit a customer. But we put a big circle of light around them and told them to get them out of here. But you know, if it would work on that environment, I'm pretty sure on your pretty much average home and just old lady getting pissed off, it'll work. It'll work on you for there. So if you're interested, just put violet flame, send it to crystaldirections.nancyjean@gmail.com, and I'll be glad to send it off to you. Send it back to your Gmail. I want to thank everybody that's participated in my giveaways, and please, please, please go find me the last 5 people. I need to make it to 2,000. Please, please, please go find them and get them to sign up. I would really appreciate it, because when we get to 2,000, we're going to have a lot of fun. And I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.